Ka-ching. I've already opened this earlier. How's everybody doing? We are still gloating and celebrating the Trump victory. We got AOC in the thumbnail. And that I asked Grok for AOC in 2025 because all these girls that voted for Camel Face, I'm sorry, mispronounced her name. They're all thinking that they're going to live in Handmaid's Tale, which I haven't seen because I'm a guy. But yeah, that's the thumbnail. I figured, why not have a thumbnail that would get people to watch, right? Because this isn't working. And I got a Commanders uh, Elite jersey in the mail today. Talked about this on the podcast, but yes, there is a life hack to get mucho savings on authentic style jerseys. This is a Chase Young. So here's what you do: you get the player that's been traded, and then they're like, we got to get rid of these jerseys. So this is an authentic. It's got everything sewn in, the patches and things. Probably, if you look at the way the neck's cut, this is definitely designed for if you're wearing pads, and you can see like just like the way it's like cinched up over here. But otherwise, it's a pretty cheap way to get very premium Nike apparel. And I think I just thought, hey, that Daniels threw this bomb. It was lit. That's a cool looking jersey they got in black. I realize they should be called the Redskins still, so I'm kind of got this ironically, but I think the colors kind of look cool. But I would probably, if you're wearing this in public, probably wear some kind of white undershirt, realistically. I mean, the players are, right? So I'm not really a Kansas City Chiefs fan. They don't pay taxes in Kansas, so I'm not obligated to care. I actually went by Walmart this evening, and they had. Oh, I don't have it. Well, it's not within arm's reach, but they actually had my Expendables 1 through 4 there in the steelbook, and it was finally marked down. It said clearance. I think it was clearance $59.99. Got it way cheaper on eBay. So actually got it for a steal on eBay. But what's with Margaret Qualley being naked in every movie she does? You got to distance yourself. You got to tell everybody you're a serious actress. Hey, it's not nepotism that got me here. That sort of thing, probably. I wanted to speak a little about the new Star Wars revelations here. We've got a writer, Simon Kinberg. He wrote some X-Men stuff. I think actually some of the good ones and some of the bad. But he directed the Flight of the Phoenix, X-Men, whatever, Dawn of the Phoenix Saga, something, the one people really hate. Which I think when you think about it, it's not good, but is it really worse than the crap that the Marvel MCU was doing? Can we be honest about that? So he is set to produce and write a trilogy of Star Wars films, presumptively the Rey saga. We're done with the Skywalker saga. Now it's okay. So wait, she's calling herself Rey Skywalker. So are we done with the Skywalker saga or not, right? She effectively killed off all of the Skywalkers, all the Skywalker solos, didn't she? Managed to do that, and she's the hero. Like, let's really step back and analyze this for a sec, shall we? It's not in reach. Hold on, I got a puzzle. I got some other stuff to show you guys, okay? This was a puzzle I had my mom unbox on the podcast today, audio, but yeah. It says it's not actually a jigsaw puzzle. It's a ribbon cut, and this is from an independent puzzle company in the U.S. called Piecework. Yeah, and this is called Early Bird, and it's like as if you had maybe possibly a messy picnic, and yeah, so I've got to write a review for that on Amazon. I got it through Amazon Vine, so they're looking for reviews, and I thought my mom will do a puzzle with me, so yeah, that could be fun. And I was going to I had started shooting a video on this stuff, this Emmy noodles, and I hadn't really gotten around to posting that. So definitely want to plug Emmy noodles right now. High in protein and fiber, it leaves you full. And you can use my promo code over at emmyeats.com, FRY, FRY, to save $5 on your order. So that's neat. What other kind of questions we have here? Will Star Wars bounce back from the Acolyte series? I question if bouncing back is a possibility for anything at this point because the mainstream media just got exposed. They can't lead or rather mislead the public anymore. They said, hey, Kamala, you get super preferential treatment, softball questions. You can't drop this ball. And she said, watch me. And Donald Trump is a pariah. He's worse than Hitler, whatever. Oh no, they might have tried to shoot him. That's a shame. By the way, he's still worse than Hitler. They were saying that sort of stuff. Didn't work. Instead, Barron Trump had the foresight to say, hey, here's where the young voters are. They're listening to the podcast. They don't give a crap about the TV. And as such, I mean, the damn Avengers assembled, and it wasn't good enough for Kamala to get through. She still couldn't cross the finish line. So I'm thinking we're probably done with all the damn sagas, right? I don't think that they can do the phase with the Avengers phase coming up here. What is it? Phase 6 or some shit. With as many installments as they were doing before. I don't think that the audience is there anymore, and I don't think Star Wars is there either. I mean, Star Wars, it just came out, what, yesterday? They had a 400 some million dollar budget for, I keep getting these mixed up. The Rise of Skywalker, was that the last one? The Force Awakens, that's easy to remember, but then it's The Last Jedi, but it says last, but it's not the last, and then it's The Rise of Skywalker. So where's the rising when no? The audience isn't there. The Acolyte proves the audience isn't there. Their last hope to say, hey, maybe we have something still is if Grogu and the Silver Guy, if they have a hit. And look, Eric, Mary, I'm having a hard time figuring out how to limit it to members only. So how about when we really get going and then like say we want to wrap it up, maybe I can swap this to like members only something, and then I can kind of go about it that way, if that makes sense. They probably can't fire KK because she has an ironclad contract. That's my guess, that it's one of these situations where it's cheaper to just make her shows and movies than it is to get rid of her. So way too installed, right? What else questions we got here? Isn't it weird to use dead people in CGI for movies like Star Wars? Why don't they recast Luke and Leia? Mark Hamill's not dead, so he gets that easy bag there, right? And then we know that they had James Earl Jones voluntarily has his voice used by Disney in perpetuity through AI. There's a technology behind it, and people think it's good enough, which is a way to pull up the ladder behind you to make sure nobody else ever gets to do their interpretation of Darth Vader, right? It's pretty much like kind of Hayden Christensen, but mostly James Earl Jones are going to be the ones getting the bag for that. Why don't you like Lord of the Rings? It's a classic. It's like, why don't you like country music? You don't, right? It's like the period doesn't work for me. The setting isn't that great. The way the people talk is maybe funnier than it should be. It's definitely trying hard to be taken seriously. I'm not really sure if I'm buying that so much, but I don't understand the magic aspects of it. It's just kind of like Gandalf can do anything when he needs to. The plot armor protects all the important people somehow don't die. There'll be like a massive war. protecting this a castle built in the side of a mountain, and you just have an army of faceless nobody orcs played by the remaining population of New Zealand, and they just get dropped easily. Whereas Orlando Bloom and the midget and the guy from Daylight, they just can't get touched. Like, why? Oh, Gandalf. Oh no, he died. It's sad. No, he didn't. And he can do anything. Like, there's no rules. It's just shit gets made up on the fly. I don't care for it. Will Captain America Brave New World suck? The question isn't will Captain America Brave New World suck? It is how much will it suck? Um, I think it's gotten to a point now where we can almost, and shamefully so, like okay, look, I posted a review for The Substance, nobody watched it, and YouTube has it shadow banned. Great. But can we just now make assumptions on franchises now? Because we don't really need to go see them to know what's going to happen. You don't have to step outside when it's raining shit to know that you don't like having shit rained on you, right? We used to have I studied film criticism, which is now completely dead art. It was dying and now it's dead. I tell people it died with Roger Ebert. He's just rolling in his grave repeatedly. People don't care about the movie review. They want the full long 45-minute essay with the spoilers and not even grading a movie afterwards. Just here's my thoughts on it, 45 minutes, something to leave on while you do chores in the house. And that's what gets the reactions, the likes, the people yelling in the comment section, and YouTube does something with it and makes more people watch it. Talking about movies without spoiling them, that's film criticism, and it is completely done. So, with that said, can I not just go ahead and hate on something? Dawn Wanderer gifted, what is that? Gifted 9. Oh, wait, that's my name. I thought it was 9 memberships. Gifted 1 membership. Okay, so I don't know what that means. I've seen that sort of thing come up on Twitch where it was like gifted memberships. Oh, wait, Eric was gifted a membership by. Oh, okay. Eric said he was going to join. So now you have onboarded him. Does that mean Dawn Wanderer gets like a cut of the action? Like you get a piece of Eric's membership fee going forward? Because like you onboarded him and now he has to continue paying. Like that's a good idea. Hold on, we've got questions coming in here. No, this is a liquid death melon. It's called Convicted Melon. Yeah. Shrewdly, I didn't turn off the face recognition thing, so that's good because I was picking up stuff. So this is Convicted Melon. I've so far tried Bury Me Alive or Buried Alive, and Convicted Melon. This is going to be the way I get back my 6-pack in some way because this is going to be better than me drinking. Alternatively, we're looking at probably 500 calories of Mountain Dew for as much as is in this can, right? So that's going to be the way we ease into that, right? I've got to do something because I've just been so upset at how fat my face looks. It's shameful, and I need to get like neck muscles and shit. So gotta do some work in the in what you're putting in your body, right? Will Avengers Secret Wars be worth the wait? You know what's crazy? We got shadow dropped on Xbox yesterday. Death Stranding, which was rumored to be coming to PC finally. It was a Sony published exclusive for the PlayStation 4. And now there's a director's cut that's going to PC. Oh, hey, we're dropping it on the Xbox as well. Evidently, Hideo Kojima just bought back the share that Sony had and then said, okay, now that I have that, it can go on the Xbox. Boom, happy. We got that before we got Grand Theft Auto 6. That's crazy. We're dragging our feet so much on Marvel MCU projects right now. It's kind of refreshing. What was the last thing that came out? Deadpool and Wolverine in what, July? Didn't we used to have a new Marvel thing like it was a premium live event from WWE? And now it's like, "Hey, we're gonna make this stuff special again?" I don't honestly think that people are gonna care about Secret Wars because it's one of those things where there's no stakes. It's kind of like, "Okay, you guys had your war and now you're back on Earth," said the Beyonder or some shit, and actually, I have one of the books, but I never opened it because it's graded 9.8. It's the one with the Black Spider-Man origin story, the suit? Secret Wars number 8 from '84. Actually, it might even be November '84, now that I think about it. Um, but yes, that's, like, if you don't give them Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, I don't think that they come back. They're like, "Hey, it's Robert Downey Jr. again." Well, it's not like he's Heath Ledger and he's dead, so you're surprised to see him in that regard. He's playing a different character now. And I don't like other people are saying over here, he's probably not right for Doctor Doom, if we're being honest. So, oh, Rise of Palpatine. Yeah, that's what they should have called it. Yeah, if you think about it, yeah. I heard they canceled the Blade series due to writing issues, though. I think it was supposed to be a movie. My understanding of it is, and it's hilarious the more you think about this, I almost need to I'm I'm really on the verge of subscribing to Disney Plus so that I can do some commentary tracks to make fun of MCU films, watch Wolverine and Deadpool, and X-Men '97. But off camera, Blade says something to what's his name? Snow from Lord Game of Thrones, Lord of the Game of Thrones. Jon Snow, is that the guy's name? He says something to him. It's like he's playing with a sword and he's like, "You better be careful with that. It's sharp or something." And it's like, dun dun dun. Whoa, we've got tie-ins here. And then they bring in that One Direction kid that didn't jump off the balcony, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a guy also." And I think Patton Oswalt is like a midget, and they're like, "I guess we're getting ready for the next movie." And it's like, "No, you're not." And then that's hilarious because that movie was so damn bad. And look, I could kind of go back and forth between the brand of bad between Shang-Chi and the Golden Cock Ring or something, whatever, and the Eternals. One is definitely trying to be more serious than the other and totally failing at it and completely incompetent direction, whereas the other one is just trope laden. So I mean, it's bad whichever one you want, right? He feels about Lord of the Rings the way I feel about Dune. I have some respect for Dune, and I do need to watch Dune 2 because I did like the new vision of Dune 1. The Dune in 1984 was not ready for prime time. We didn't have the technology to pull off that story. We condensed a lot of stuff, and it just made everything very expository dialogue. There was no time to develop characters. And there are some problems I have with the new Dune, but if I read the books, I think I probably would have liked the new Dune a lot better than the '84 Dune. So there's that. Now, the new Dune didn't have the Toto score, so shame on you. But top 3 superhero films ever. I kind of thinking about this the other day. Um, Look, I don't think I can do an official order for this, but and this it's going to be complicated here. And now I'm trying to remember which ones are superhero films because look, I like Ang Lee's Hulk a lot more than most people. That is a very daring edit with all the very comic book style transitions, and it is character driven and like there felt like there was weight to it and stuff, and I was digging it. Spider-Man 2, when that came out, everybody's like, "Oh my god." And now it's almost like it's forgotten or we're supposed to forget about it and stuff. And I do really like the it's not really the first Batman, but Batman '89 with Michael Keaton. I don't have a ton of problems with it, but when you do watch it now and you understand how different the filmmaking process is, it looks like it's in the '80s in ways, and sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. However, can we not give our flowers to, X-Men, Days of Future Past? Better than any other movie in the genre when it comes to bringing an ass load of characters in there, but not making them seem like they're out of place or forgotten. Unfortunately, the version I watched was like the Rogue edit, so it's not really the theatrical version, and I feel like you have to judge things by the theatrical take. So I don't know if it was all that ultra necessary to go get Rogue and bring her into it. She wasn't that intricate to the story for several movies, so I don't think she had to be there per se. So I would have to check out the theatrical version, which makes me think maybe that is on Disney Plus, but I don't know for sure. But I do think people need to consider Days of Future Past among the top comic book movies. Something to think about. Okay, Eric really slinging the money around. He gifted Dawn Wanderer. All right, hold on now. No, wait. Dawn Wanderer is gifting Own My No, it's Dawn Wanderer slinging the money. Nick, Own My Feelings. Jeez. Mary KK said that she was poor. Is she being left out of this now? Like, I'm watching Terror of Mecha Godzilla, not as good as Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla. I didn't know. Okay, it's kind of surprising that a lot of those creatures Godzilla fights also had their own movie. Like, I think there is a Rodan, like a couple years after OG Godzilla, like still in the 50s or something. So that's kind of surprising. And it actually took them a while to get to where Godzilla was going to be engaging in the other creature fights. It might I could be wrong, but did that start with Godzilla versus King Kong, and then from that point forward, Godzilla started fighting everybody? I'm not really all up caught up in the Godzilla stuff. I liked Godzilla -1. I might own Shin Godzilla in HD or 4K on Xbox Video. It was, like, for sale for, like, $3, and I thought about it, and I think I might have picked it up. I heard that was really starting to turn things around for Godzilla, so maybe I should check that out. I would buy the Series X Death Stranding, but I still haven't finished it on PS4. So I will be purchasing that. It's $20 right now for the next like 13 days on Xbox, which sounds really good for like I mean, usually even when something's old and it's dropped or it's got the new Series X compliments of updates or whatever, they still want something damn close to full retail. But I've been looking forward to that. I like the Hideo Kojima stuff, even if sometimes it's like, "Oh, can we get back on on track here?" This is gonna be like, I'm assuming the most Kojima game ever. Uh, but, it does have some people in it I don't like the girl with the moon face who killed James Bond. I think she's like major love interest or some shit, so you gotta put up with her. So that's unfortunate, but, yeah, it's an 80 gig download. I had some internet stuff down today. We've been working on the house with things, so I haven't gotten to that. But I don't know if I should stream my first impressions, or is that the type of thing where Twitch is going to be angry about it because copyrighted music and that sort of thing? Something to think about, right? Okay, what else do we got here? I would buy the Death. When will you quit gaming and why? I'm going to quit when I'm finished with Grand Theft Auto 6. That's where I'm going out. Until then, and but mind you, it wasn't until a couple days ago. So my Game Pass Ultimate was expiring on the 6th of November. But I saw CD Keys had 3 months for sale for $10 a month. And I thought, sure. I just kind of want, oh Christ, since you pay for Grand Theft Auto 6, you're gonna have Xbox Live, which is now Game Pass Core, some garbage. I need to finish some games up. I'm going to quietly grind kills and deaths on Xbox Series X. Uh, I'm going to double box Friday the 13th, the game. And I'm going to have my Xbox One set up to stand still while I try to do other shit with my Xbox Series X. I am desperately looking for someone, even just right after the stream, who can get on a damn Xbox and has that game Friday the 13th. It is no longer in the store, but it was Games with Gold. So you may have it downloaded or you may have claimed it and not even realized it was like Games with Gold in like 2018. I need someone to drive the damn boat. I have to be on the boat for like 6 escapes while someone else drives, and I'm losing my mind over it. Now, I know I'm not going to have enough time to play Jason like 500 more times and be a counselor 500 more times before this game gets yanked at the end of the year. Unless I really want to have a boring next month and a half. Cuz it's going to be a grind. But I I will pay someone to do this shit, to drive the damn boat. I'm losing my mind because the rest of it I can just, okay, just be Jason, choke the guy out, load it again, and then just kind of like swap controllers. But somebody's got to get on the boat. It takes 3 people. So, yes. Uh, I wouldn't quit gaming. I'd just hook up my SNES or Genesis Mini. I've got a Super Nintendo Mini. I've got the PlayStation Mini. I have done some Dreamcast emulation, and honestly, I'm really looking forward to the upcoming Capcom Fighting Collection 2 of the Marvel vs. Capcom thing. Definitely, everybody knows I'm a huge reason why that got greenlit, right? So yes, actually, I kind of am a big reason why it's coming to Xbox. There really wasn't YouTubers making a fuss about it because the fighting YouTube community is PlayStation kids. But I made a fuss. So, unironically, yes. The SNES Mini is just too fun. It is quite good, but I have a 4K TV now and 720p just doesn't look sharp for shit. They made that stuff 720p because it's a nice like round number for the up conversion stuff. If you want 4K with the FPGA stuff, the price just gets crazy high. You have to get analog. Uh, the analog company has a shitty business model where it's like, all we do is make old consoles new, and you play your games on them that you own, right? What happens when we already cover all the popular consoles? Like, where can they go next? Now they have an N64, which is quasi popular. Where do you go from there? Like, okay, fine. Analog 3DO. You guys asked for it. The 3 of you who are going to buy it for $1,000, right? There are really fun SNES games. Some of them, and I don't like the term age, but people are upset at me for not liking the OG Star Fox. Come at me, bro. The game is nigh unplayable. Try playing it on a Super Nintendo Classic. I dare you. It plays at what, 5 to 15 frames per second. It is a technical marvel. It is a demo at best. It is astonishing I was able to get to the last world back in like 93 playing claw style because I accidentally, like, was it this thumb over here? Or this, let's see, this thumb got slammed in a car door, so I had to play like claw D-pad. It was terrible. But the game is not really playable. It's a nice test of strength for the FX chip. That's about it. But the pixel art stuff represents really good on the Super Nintendo. They had the power to do what needed to be done with Mario and the 2D scape. And so Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island certainly holds up quite well. I don't think I have a means to do a total live stream of that, but it's a fairly short game in a way or something. You can marathon that in a stream. It's excellent, but it's not a crazy hard challenge. So maybe if there was like a ROM hack, like Unfair Yoshi's Island or some shit, that'd probably just make me frustrated. But Spider-Man 2, Superman the movie, TDK, the greatest superhero trifecta. I Spider-Man 2 does get to me. If you My commentary on that, I mean, thinking about it, I'm kind of tearing up. That's the only superhero film that gets you teared up. But Superman the movie, it uh, carried the mantle. It did a lot of good things, and I don't hate on it. I just think there are some better superhero films. The Dark Knight Rises is not that good. It is a 3 out of 4-star movie, almost exclusively because of Heath Ledger giving the best performance ever across anything, bar none. If it wasn't for him, I'm not sure there's much else movie there, and I don't like this kind of argument where it's like, well, if you take his worst game out of it, LeBron James has been dominant this season. That's a bullshit argument. When you hear people arguing sports, well, when you take out that first game, no, no, no. When you take out that game where no, that was this season. It's in there. Heath Ledger propels that movie. I don't like the damn Bat Pod. The Tumblr it was okay. It's a little too much tank for Batman, I feel like. I'm not really sure what the hell the plot was by the end. Okay, hey, I need you to spy on these guys. When you're done, type your name in for your resignation. And it's like, what? Now, The Dark Knight Rises was even more of a none of this makes sense. Screw it. We're just getting this over with. That's more of what they did over there. So Two-Face, poorly integrated. Even the bullshit where he's introduced and it's like, I'm the greatest DA of all time. Huh. Oh, hey, this guy got on the witness stand with a gun. Huh. It's not even, I could tell it's jammed or some shit. It's not even loaded. Huh. I'm so cool. Crazy obnoxious. Flips in one movie and then is out in one movie. At least the Two-Face we got in Batman Forever, it was like, okay, Batman has to deal with Two-Face. Not we created him and we got rid of him within one movie. Not as a main villain. Okay? So you basically create, though he's already a mobster, the Joker, Jack Nicholson's, and then you get rid of him in one movie. But here it's like good guy transitions to bad, and then he's out of the picture. But it's as a third wheel villain or some shit. Like it's Jesus. I didn't need to be in the movie, or could have been reeled back a ways. How about he's good throughout The Dark Knight and then at the end gets burned or some shit. Also, the way he got burned, it's almost like Batman let him get burned in a way. The explosion got on his face as Batman's got him down the sidewalk away from the building, and it was stupid. Yeah, and then like the next movie, you'd be dealing with the rogue Two-Face guy, right? But nope, not the way we did it. Oh, top 3 rom-coms. Like I've said before, if you want to save the movie theaters, you got to write a rom-com. The fresh perspective needed on the rom-com could be a really cool concept if you think about it at all, because we're doing too much in these other spaces, and we're making only the $400 million budget Star Wars crap. A $25 million rom-com used to bring in 300 million, no trouble. And now it's like, screw it. You're going to be lucky if Netflix buys the rights or something, right? It's not really my genre, so it's kind of hard to say, but I think that most guys don't realize that their favorite rom-com is Jerry Maguire. Jerry Maguire is a rom-com wrapped up in a sports film to get you interested in it. That's really what it is. Did you like Tom Holland Spider-Man movies? Absolutely not. They said he will do another 4 films. God, shit's sake. I haven't watched any of his Spider-Man films because I already detest him in the Avengers films that he showed up and shat on. "Oh, hey, Mr. Stark. Well, hey, my costume, it's not metal enough. Wow." Shit. What a jackass. So, yes, that sucks. Um, Still haven't seen Rogue Cut. Still curious. See, I think I've seen the Rogue Cut, but then again, you know what? I did go on Disney Plus and get like all the clips I needed for a big X-Men video that I didn't finish. But and I can't recall. I might have watched it over there. And now I'm trying to think, did I do a commentary track for Days of Future Past? I'm gonna have to look. I don't think I had, but I did do a. I'm almost certain that I did a X-Men First Class as well as the Apocalypse. So maybe I had. I don't know. You guys let me know if I had or not. Oh shit. I have these Expendables movies. I'll probably be doing the Expendable commentaries soon enough. And but if I get the Disney Plus, you'll know. Tom Holland is all wrong for Spider-Man when they said Spider-Man 4 might just happen. My hope was you mean with Tobey Maguire? Like, let's resume that? That's what you mean by Spider-Man 4, right? Because this other thing where it's like, I'm far from home. I don't know my way home. I guess I got home. Like these titles, I don't call that Spider-Man 4. Okay, what do we have here? Days of Future Past was so good. I realized the younger Magneto and Professor X were better actors. I don't have a lot of in ways of complaints regarding the casting for most of the First Class, like, uh, core characters. What I'm about to say Pyron, but it's like Cyclops and his brother, auxiliary, doesn't really matter too much. Jennifer Lawrence, I can understand why she's there. Hunger Games, big draw. Things are going for her. She got an Oscar nomination for Winter's Bone. Like the crux of it, right? But yeah, the Scottish guy who it's kind of weird because it's like, okay, I'm Professor X, but I have hair and I can walk. And then you're kind of waiting for, oh, is this gonna it's almost like Hot Tub Time Machine, where it's like, hey, it's the guy with the arm missing in the future. We gotta keep an eye on him. This is gonna be when he loses his arm. It's gonna happen. It's gonna oh. And then it's kind of like, oh wait, he's gonna he's gonna become crippled. Hmm. Okay, so he's gonna lose his hair now, right? This is where he loses his hair? No? So wait a minute. He doesn't get bald until Apocalypse screws with him a little bit, and then he can't grow his hair back? It takes that long? Like, come on. My brother gifted me the then X-Men movie, The X-Men 2000 Blu-ray set. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's kinda hard to get a set of movies these days when it's like, "Ta-da, we got another one for you." I'm pretty confident we're not getting another Expendables, so the Expendables 1 through 4 steelbook, which is buried under some stuff on my side over here. I had other things to kind of show. Let's try not to ding anything up. The Expendables 1 through 4 steelbook. And by the way, is this not the coolest cover you've ever seen in your life? See, he's got like a cigar. And the skull guy, he's got a cigar, right? But it's actually a gun. Whoa. Yeah, so I don't think we're 25 years later, it's time for Expendables 5. It's not happening. So pretty safe to say we're not getting any more Expendables. Yeah, I've got to get around to canceling my Walmart pre-order for Deadpool and Wolverine. Uh, because wouldn't suffice to say, why not just go ahead and have a three-piece 4K release, right? Like put the put the 3 movies in the steel book, and we're calling it good. There's the Deadpool collection. Am I wrong? I think that that is offered in Germany, that they do have a steel book, whatever, with the 3 movies, but not here in the States. So, yeah, why offer the Americans so many movies when one can, for such price, can work, right? Okay, I've got some chat to catch up with. Um, okay, we're doing it in set in time now, and I have 2 copies of the Days of Future Past theatrical cut. Whoa, okay. Dawn is slinging the cash, we think. Rodman 1954. Oh, you mean Rodan is actually good? Okay, yeah, I can see. Rom-coms, not sure. Sleepless. I never, until lockdown and, that C word, I didn't mispronounce anything. I didn't type things wrong. Now I send messages to people and I'm like, what did I write? I can't shit. Sleepless in Seattle, maybe. I wouldn't say so. Four Weddings is not a rewatch. No, I'm down with Four Weddings and a Funeral. Don't like Love Actually. Can we quit pretending that Love Actually is this quaint family film that needs to be referenced in every other commercial this time of year? It's kind of gross, honestly. It's gross. It's got bad moral implications. It's very British. It's weird as shit. Hey, my buddy just got married, but I really like his wife. Hey, I'm going to hold these cards up I made. This isn't creepy at all. If he didn't look like Andrew Lincoln, would this be a bigger problem? Like, okay, it's Norman Reedus, and she's like, I don't know. I mean, you've only been in Blade 2. Not interested. Like, is that what would happen? It's freaking weird. Hey, I'm Liam Neeson's adopted son, but his actual mom died, so he's kind of like, I'll take care of the kid, right? Eh, he hasn't been taken yet. Kim, you're about to be taken. You know, um, I don't know who you are. I can kind of do a Liam Neeson if I practice it more, but yeah, So his shy boy is gonna fall for a girl that lip syncs Mariah Carey songs at the talent show. And then you have that guy that plays young Bilbo Baggins, and he's like a porn star extra or some shit where it's kinda like, "Hey, I'm the body double," and, "Oh, hey, that was a fun scene we had, and is this shit appropriate?" Oh, but if we bring in Pointer Sisters Jump, now it's a fun romp. Christ. Do I need to go off on that film? I'll tell you what, if any streaming service I subscribe to has the gall to have Love Actually on their roster, I will go in on it with the receipts. I feel like I already have in a review that no one watches, so instead you have to expose, right? You can't just simply review it. Love Actually is crap, sucks, exposed. There you go. And anybody that likes it is a racist. There you like then the comment section lights up, right? That's kind of the way that works. Harry Met Sally is really good. Yes. Holds up very well. It might be the GOAT. I had a video up about how season 1, at least, of Seinfeld is very much like, hey, when Harry Met Sally kind of worked, we're going to kind of bring that to TV. It's like, okay, your Seinfeld Chronicles thing didn't really take off, but in-house, Castle Rock made When Harry Met Sally, and they're kind of like, hey, you know what? Why don't we just retool the Seinfeld Chronicles things? We'll just call it Seinfeld, but it's really When Harry Met Sally with some of the Seinfeld stuff still going on. Kramer's going to be a bit different, but hey, Jerry's still there. George, pretty much similar, whatever. We got the waitress out of the way. Bring in Elaine. Look at the stuff they do in early Seinfeld episodes. They have a split phone conversation, split screen, just like When Harry Met Sally. They go to games and it looks like the same sort of observational humor as evident in When Harry Met Sally. Everybody stand to do the wave sort of thing. There are things about the way Jerry's kind of represented that's like Billy Crystal's character. So yeah, it does end up going more along. It's like Stranger Things. Like Stranger Things was so caught up in ripping off Stephen King and Steven Spielberg that as seasons went along, they had to finally like tell their own story and develop something. And that's kind of working out. And that worked out for Seinfeld, but because how much more could it possibly keep going after one movie, right? How much more can we copy? It's over. We did it. So that's what I got to say about that. How will studios make money if most movies aren't profitable anymore due to Gen Z not going to the movie theater? The hope for them is, I mean, look, if you own a movie theater, what can you do other than jack up the price on popcorn and be like, I hope the one person coming in buys enough popcorn to make this worthwhile? Because that's all they do. They say instead of people going to the movie theaters for a date or the weekend or like they had been, now it's like an event. It's almost like the trip to the amusement park. It's priced like that. When I went to Alien Romulus, it didn't cost me less than $30 because I got the special popcorn and saw the movie, right? But if they're changing the business model to event, like, oh, thank God, James Cameron made a movie for us to have as an event. Now people will come. That's all they can do is just kind of hope people make the movies that are going to be treated event in the way that justifies this event pricing. It would otherwise be nice if cheaper movies were shown at a more reasonable price and people actually showed up to, because people will say, "Hey, we won't see a rom-com for 25 bucks. It's not meant to be seen on the big screen." The movie theater has no choice but to play the new stuff that's available to them and stay open at midnight once a month for Rocky Horror Picture Show. Well, that's about all they can do, right? They don't have a lot of say in what's coming down the pipeline. So you will see stuff like Fathom Events wheeling out older stuff. Uh, I know they bring in a few. I last I saw, I think they were doing like a bunch of Studio Ghibli. It's weird when I do go to the movie theater now. I see these posters up for 20th anniversary of Mean Girls screening, and it's like we're half the stuff you're showing is old, but it's like nostalgia, and I get to see it on the big screen for the first time. I don't know if people are showing up for that, but yeah, you could have your girls' night. Everybody go see the Mean Girls. We're all in our early 40s. The kids have a babysitter or an iPad. Let's go to Mean Girls. Like that's pretty much what the market is for that, right? Okay, I think they got rid of Vim's Lair, unfortunately. Great ROM emulator site. I don't think I'm familiar with that one. I was fortunate enough to grab, um, acquire, found the ROMs of the games that I was looking for online in places available at the time that I may not need to worry about in the future because it's kind of like for the most part, I'm an Xbox gamer. I'm way too legit with my downloads to for the feds to be going after me, right? I never liked Jerry Maguire. Cameron Crowe, best film is Some Kind of Wonderful. Does that get associated with John Hughes more, or am I mistaken? I think I've seen it on TBS or something, but I don't recall too much about it. Cameron Crowe really makes a few different movies. Good for him. I think Jerry Maguire's pretty strong. I don't have a lot wrong to say about Jerry Maguire. What kind of time we looking at here? Ooh, 50 minutes. Get the thumbs up, guys. Come on. A thumbs up for the AOC AI art at least. Jeez. Will Thunderbolts movie be good? I completely forgot about it. Probably not. Who is your lead? I guess it's Florence Pugh, right? But Is this the thing where we're okay? So Brave New World has Harrison Ford Hulk, but he's the Thunder of 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 which he, I guess the Thunderbolts are named for him, so he's got to be in this too. Okay, what? Look, a restrained Marvel MCU version of Suicide Squad. How good can it be? Right? They've tried too much of, hey, Guardians of the Galaxy really worked. I guess we got to do that. But then you bring in everybody else to do their version of Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's like what's happened with Bad Boys, which by the way, commentary track for Bad Boys 4 definitely needs to happen, right? Bad Boys Ride or Die is so far removed from the feeling of a Michael Bay movie with the Bayhem that it feels like somebody's like, like AI made it. Like, okay, look, we can't get Michael Bay, but what would Michael Bay do? Fine, try that. And it just doesn't really have the same appeal, really. That's my thoughts on that. Like, if you want Bayhem, there's only one guy you can go to, right? Do 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 do. Uh, yeah. What else do we got here? Your thoughts on Kimmel crying? I kind of wanted to get into some of that reaction stuff because I've seen some of those late night comedy reaction things, but I haven't watched all of them. I need to watch Gutfeld, and I'm sure I've seen the highlight clips of the network guys. Well, this happened, but we can get through it. It's happened again. This big assumption that their audience voted the way they did. Jay Leno didn't do that sort of shit where it was like, oh man, we had an election last night and all those evil people made the bad guy win. Like he wouldn't say anything like that. It would be more like, okay, we have a new guy to make fun of. To do, hey Kev, did you hear that? There was a fun way to go about this, and now it is just so incredibly preachy. And as a cable cutter who still has access to these network shows, and it's like very much my thing, like, hey, I wouldn't mind being on the Tonight Show or hosting it or some shit. These are like bygone dreams, but that whole thing is dead. Like, look, they don't have any audience, and they're too preachy with shit, and they're not as funny as they used to be because they're afraid of offending people, and they just kind of get in a rut, and they just say, hey, bring in whatever musical act, have them play with kid instruments in a little room, and we'll call it a thing. And for a time, you could post those videos, they would go viral, and then people stopped giving a shit because I think the whole concept of celebrity is fading fast over here. The music acts, uh, we don't have new music acts, but at what point do we say there are no famous actors? Like, okay, there's a renowned actor, they got an Oscar, but they can't afford their apartment in Los Angeles. Do we want to call that famous? We have like Vanity Fair, Hollywood, some reporter saying the new A list, and it's all like TikTok influencers. And it's like, would my mom know who these people are if I don't? No. So what makes them A list, right? Some kind of hope that this is where we're going with things, or the potential to own their brand, but what do we do with it? Just be a mouthpiece, right? Uh, I don't think that we can get another generation of late night television because the audience for that is waning quick. And would you be able to get a guy in at a huge discount from Jimmy Fallon? Because it's kind of like these guys get on there and you have to pay them more and more and more for diminishing returns. Like less people are watching, but these guys have to make more money. And only in like entertainment does shit like that happen. If you go and you work blue collar, you don't keep making more money as the company is going under, right? But if you're, upper management, vice president of garbage, yeah, you do. I don't think they will be able to get the next round of hosts for late night shows. It's kind of like What we have like a hybrid game show now that replaced the British guy that liked to sing and cause traffic jams, whatever is James Corden, right? There's like a hybrid comedy game show thing hosted by that Taylor girl who isn't a bad stand-up comic, but yeah, that's gonna be like the end of that. Uh, then they're just gonna run reruns of Seinfeld or whatever. Like, where I live, they got rid of all this sort of like daytime shows you used to be able to see. Shit, do you guys remember coming home from school in elementary school and you turn on Fox and they had like a program block? It might have even been like Disney. There was like they may have had like a Power Rangers type thing or a Chip and Dale, DuckTales, and all like there were cartoons and things to watch when you came home from school. All of that now is just repeats of the news, the one or two game shows over there at CBS, and the talk shows that they have over at ABC. Like that's about it. And then just repeat the news. They used to show like Wheel of Fortune or Entertainment Tonight on my local news, and then they just at one point they said, "Screw Entertainment Tonight. It's too expensive. We could just show the news again." So the 6 o'clock news repeats at 6:30, and then you get your programming from ABC because it's just cheaper to. Hey, we have this talent here that we're paying 80 grand a year to just keep saying stuff all day long. We can make them work longer. It's in their contract. They're not national. We'll string them along. Hey, if you stay here long enough, maybe you'll get called up to the big leagues, right? So it's just cheaper to do it that way. They will end up just playing the 10 o'clock news at 10:30 again, and just do it again and again because there won't be a late night show. That's the honest truth about it. How far behind am I in what we're talking about here? I didn't see Apocalypse or Dark Phoenix. It doesn't sound like I actually liked Apocalypse. I gave it 3 out of 4 stars. I know, shame on me giving a review to a movie before seeing the way the direction the wind was going, drinker style, and then giving the appropriate response to match my audience. Shame on me. I don't care for the way Apocalypse was portrayed. We know that Poe Dameron can't act, right? But there were other aspects of it I liked. The 80s thing, it felt more genuinely 80s in ways than a lot of other films try. I like the fact that Wolverine still got some kind of cameo. Um, things things didn't not make sense, for me to be complaining about. And it was kind of cool how like you had like the younger class had to help save the day, and the way that they had to attack Apocalypse on multiple fronts was pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, bite me, right? If people have a problem with that. Jennifer Lawrence looked bad as Mystique. I like Stamos chick better. Yeah, almost forgot she was married to him. As the supermodels, and I think you get to be at one point in time, you were considered a supermodel if you were on the cover of Sports Illustrated. As supermodels turn actress, is anybody even in the league of Rebecca Romaine? Like, full stop. I know I haven't seen that movie she fronted by the guy who did Carrie, uh, De Palma, right? I've been wanting to see that. It's not on streaming things, so I may have to splurge on a Blu-ray or something. But yeah, Rebecca Romaine, and I don't hate her on Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which new season should be here any moment now. I kind of think that's a fun show in a way. It's appropriately enough all over the place because look at the way 60 Star Trek was. Like, it was not the most serious thing every week, right? But now we have to act like it's supposed to be because Abrams' universe Trek is supposed to be that way. So the musical thing, okay, Props for the original songs. That's not easy. It wasn't necessarily my cup of tea, but I didn't hate it, and I didn't know she had any kind of singing ability, but you gotta consider that now anybody that gets that far has been singing on stage, right? But Strange New Worlds, don't completely hate it. I have issues with it. Hell, our captain largely just cooks for his crew and gets bossed around, and it's way too informal. But there are other atrocities in Star Trek that are just so much worse, right? So yeah, Rebecca Romaine Stamos, underappreciated in ways, right? I don't really like what they did with the Mystique character. How it's like she's not that important. She's kind of like a soldier for uh, Magneto, and then she's the most important mutant in the world. Like, all right, but then we're gonna kind of tie that into like if this was the case with her, then how come Xavier doesn't have any particular response to her in the earlier X-Men films? You were like a sister to me, nothing comes up. It's kind of like, okay, we've retconned this a bit, haven't we? Also worth pointing out that at the end of Days of Future Past, Beast, Kelsey Grammer Beast, has yellow eyes, and in X3 he has blue. Not sure if I have a preference there, but it's like you brought him back, but you changed his eye color. Seems a little, I guess it's because you just got done watching a movie where Beast had yellow eyes, right? I never intend to watch Ant-Man and Wasp, but I love that Goodbye Yellow Brick Road cover for the trailer. Ant-Man was good, and this is often the case with the MCU stuff. They can make a good film for one, but then when you get to the sequels just never hit. Is there a good sequel in all, like, I'm not saying third film, but the follow-up, is there a good 2 in the MCU? Ant-Man 2, no. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, I didn't like it, other people did. Um, Thor 2, one of the few I haven't seen. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, no. Shit. Hell, they never really made a Hulk 2, if you think about it. So yeah, they have a lot of trouble. Ant-Man and the Wasp is just one of those super inconsequential flicks that it's it's kind of like doesn't that one show up after Infinity Game? So it's like the TV spot for that was everybody's got one thing on their mind. Where is Ant-Man? And it's like, finally, we'll have it explained in the post-credit scene why he's not here. Or it's like that's about all we can do with that, right? Okay, was Third Rock from the Sun good TV show? I dug it for a year or two. Seriously. Uh it had a fun concept, and like I think we've brought this up on here before, but it's very much like The Big Bang Theory. The comedy timing and like the format and the alien like way Sheldon approaches people and situations is very much like as if he were an alien, like John Lithgow's character. And now I'm forgetting if it's John Lithgow or John Lithgow, but I think it's Go. Really good villain in Cliffhanger. By the way, female-led Cliffhanger in production with Lily James. Don't know how I feel about that. Oh wait, I do. I don't like it. Cliffhanger, I watched it not that long ago. There are some wonky transitions where they've got a guy climbing and then the helicopter wipes across the screen, and then that's when we insert we're on the stage with Stallone. Most people I don't think picked up on that in the theater, okay? But for the most part, not a lot of issues with any kind of like there's a kick-ass plane to plane stunt. Uh shit's going down and like there's helicopter activity and things. Even when they're on set, it looks believable enough. Like the music, you damn sure ain't gonna get better music. because this was back in the days where they had, the 80-piece orchestra would actually score an action film, and it felt serious as shit. Now, you're going to get a bunch of rap songs. Who's the rapper that we're under contract to drop a song in? Okay, Christ, fine, put it there when the guy's doing something cool. How about when he's snowboarding, you play that song from the 70s that we're going to use in the trailer people will like, because we have to have classic rock in the trailer for shit. I, shit, I'm like, this, that's the way it's going to go down, right? Like, Christ. I'm looking over here, 4 likes. I'm liking that. I'm liking it. It's not quite loving it from McDonald's, but yeah. Uh, so yeah, cliffhanger is there's not a lot there to like, oh, bad CGI taking you out of the film? Not really. Actually going outside to shoot your movie? Oh my god, we can't do that these days. That's too dangerous. You're gonna get a girl on top of this mountain without CGI. Yeah, okay, right? Thoughts on Trump's victory? We did a bit of a stream for that last time, Lewis, but I kind of wanted to expound on where we go from here. We already see that and look, when you have a stream or they upload the interview, Club Shay Shay, and it is just the comments going, "We're rooting for America, go Trump," and shit from elsewhere. You actually have the foreigners rooting for America now because they realize how much of a shit show Joe Biden administration has caused for the rest of the world. So now it's no longer been like a why can't we be like Europe? Instead, it's like they're asking for us to save them too, right? By and that's what's happened. Like, as soon as oh shit, I guess we got to get the hell out of Ukraine. Oh shit, I guess we gotta get to peace over here in Gaza. Like like shit's happening just on the threat of Donald being back. It's almost like we're better off if Donald Trump is president elect in perpetuity and like just the threat looming that he would be there, right? That's kind of an interesting way to look at it. I think we're going to see some good stuff. My first thought is the J6 guys will get freed pretty damn quick. A lot of them, okay, a lot of them don't need to be locked up. I have heard there's like grannies that were just touring the damn place, and then people came in, and because they were there too, it must have been in with it, and it's like now 6 months later they knock on your door and throw your grandma in the prison, right? Shit like that happened. There's people that walked, they were part of the protest, and then they were greeted, walked in peacefully, whatever. Okay. Oh, and now we're all getting arrested forever. Really? Oh, because you didn't repent before Congress and all this, now you're in trouble? Like, uh, don't rule out an Ashley Babbitt statue in Washington, D.C. because obviously there were shenanigans in the 2020 election. Unless you really believe that 15 million Democrat votes are missing, right? Okay, let's not rule out that 15 million Democrats might have actually OD'd on fentanyl in the last 4 years. Did we think about that? I mean, we know we have this ultra potent drug coming from the South, just coming in. It's cool, do it. The feds can grab like a whey protein container full of it, and it's like enough to take out a whole city. And we're not calling that terrorist activity. Okay, cool. Oh, well, that shit's about to change. Also, we build the wall, but we paint it blue, okay? And we trick the Democrats into thinking that it's theirs, and we can call it like Liberty Wall or something, or like fair and just election wall. And if the Democrats feel like they can get credit for it, they'll be on board. Because that's the name of the game with this sort of shit. It's like we want these things to happen, both sides do, but we don't want the other team getting credit. So we have to get in the way. And then when we win the election, okay, now we can do it. So you got to trick them. Yeah, I mean, look, the media got exposed It's overblown. It's a dead dinosaur. The independent stuff is where the news is made now, and yeah, it's a whole different America. So come January, whatever day, things are going to be quite a bit different. Third Rock from the Sun is Mork and Mindy, but more Morks. Maybe. I've never actually seen Mork and Mindy. I mean, I'm very familiar with the concept, but Trump's timeline this year was better than any film. People are showing like the him getting sworn in and it's A New Hope, and then Biden with the red backdrop. Yeah, that was great optics. That's The Empire Strikes Back, and then it's Return of the Jedi with the fist in the air and the blood on the cheek, from the ear, like. And then I'm kind of like, so are you saying that the Biden administration was the best? Because everybody knows The Empire Strikes Back was the best film. So, I mean, there's that, right? Yeah. You know, I do think Trump would have lost if he hadn't have been shot. Because before he shot, his campaign was, they cheated last time, 2020. They stole the election from you, and now they're going after me in the court only because they can't go to you. Woe is me. I need your money. And then he got shot and shifted, and it became more of like, here's some policies that can change things and make things better for you. Vote for me. Oh yeah, it doesn't help that Kamala's a dumbass and can't do an interview. Sure, I mean that doesn't help. I think that well, it doesn't help her, but where does Kamala go after this? Right, OnlyFans, like. No, yeah, that would be quite the punishment, right? Like, oh, you lost the presidency. CNN doesn't have money anymore to pay you. No, there's no speaking fee for losers. She's probably going to go back to Congress, Senate, whichever, or something like that, whatever door she can get open. And, she'll sit there and she'll be a Romney, right? Like, she'll be a face there. And maybe someday she gets to be Speaker of the House or some garbage, right? But she can't talk well enough to host a CNN show. So what difference does that make? And she can't write for garbage. We already know she has ghostwriters and stuff, and people aren't going to be uh like, look, the um the Clintons had enough pull to get a lot of things done even if Hillary loses. Kamala doesn't have that pull. Like, her, so what? Like, there's not some foundation with dirt on everybody. No, dead body resume or shit. Like, her family doesn't have the pull. Like, there's things that it just doesn't really work out. There's no real future for her. I heard Agatha went down with that witches road. Is that they said that was gonna be like the gayest MCU thing, and then like Aubrey, is it Aubrey or Audrey? Aubrey Plaza. She's like, "Oh, I sure hope so. That's why I signed up." The way she interviews, you can never tell if she's sincere. Like, that's kind of the charm with her, right? But I mean, I guess that could have happened. I don't know. I mean, you got the tongue out there. I'm assuming that's what you meant. Yeah. I've seen some TikTok star deaths and just have to take their word for it. I don't even know what a Mr. Beast is. Lucky you. He's that guy that smiles without an upper lip. And then you have to give him money. And then if you watch this video, everybody who watches this video gets $750. That's what he does. And he has the cringe thumbnails. And it works. 'Cause shit. Oh, hey, that looks like that might have an actual hardline stance on something. No one's going to click on that. But if you make a goofy Fortnite face with Mr. Beast's weird lip, yeah, people will click on that shit. So, God. Uh, ABC had Disney Cartoon Block for Gummy Bears and DuckTales. I know Gummy Bears was the first of that group in like 85, but I'm trying to recall what channels even had what. Like, there was all of them had some kind of Saturday morning cartoons. but there was certainly a group in the afternoon. Like, I'm thinking Nick in the Afternoon, but that was more of a summer thing. There was but Nick in the Afternoon didn't have DuckTales and Chippendale Rescue Rangers and Tailspin. That was somewhere else, and surely that was like an ABC thing or Fox. Fox had stuff. Fox, I think, had Darkwing Duck. I think, yeah. There, there was. Look, even if it wasn't this stuff wasn't the greatest cartoons, they were trying. Now there's no audience for this stuff. Give your kid an iPad, let them watch Clone Wars again or something, right? Like that's all they do. I loved Oscar Isaac in Sucker Punch. Forgot he was in that. In fact, I love Sucker Punch. I was really looking forward to Sucker Punch. Um, I thought it had a pretty cool trailer and concept, but that was really all it had. And so that's kind of unfortunate. But I did become kind of pals with Jamie Chung thanks to Sucker Punch, and uh, I did some design work for her on Twitter. And she had a film at my festival. She couldn't make it, but the director did, and we hung out and things. And she seemed neat, but yeah, I don't recall Oscar Isaac. Now, the High Roller, if I'm remembering right, oh yeah, you got to get ready for the High Roller, but it's actually the doctor giving the lobotomy. Isn't that John Hamm? I think. Christ, not. I don't feel like I need to see Sucker Punch again, and it's maybe not even available on 4K. I don't know. Let's see. Thoughts on the Flash film? It's not that bad. The crime the Flash commits is having a really, really obnoxious lead. If you had a more restrained everyman Flash, I think you would have a better film. The CGI is so bad. Is it? There's a weird slowdown effect where everything looks bizarre. It's not going to look realistic. It's kind of the point, and then other points where it's like we have to clown on the CGI. Regularly see worse shit elsewhere. So I don't see what the problem is as far as needing to go down on the CGI over that. So yeah, I mean, I just don't really have that much of an issue with that. It's just kind of it's one of those things where it's like the bad DC EU and the bad MCU, they're just kind of both. It's hard to tell which one's worse. The Flash is not worse than the Eternals. Okay? Shit, I would take the Flash over Shang-Chi because one's got Aquafina and one doesn't. Okay. Um, Speaking of Aquafina, and we mentioned like Beast over here and Days of Future Past and stuff. Had you seen? I was thinking Winfred or Willifred, the one where he is the assistant to Dracula, played by Nicolas Cage, and then Aquafina hijacks the damn movie, and it becomes like a weird buddy cop thing, and it's like not the movie you signed up to watch. So, and one of the like, I don't know, Donnas, like she's like the Don of the mafia family, but it's a woman, is the gal that was developing the X-Men serum and X3, right, to cure the mutant disease, that sort of thing, right? Distinct voice. She's also the dragon in Damsel, but yeah. I wouldn't think too deep with X-Men. In reality, Storm is the most important mutant ever. She would control world agriculture. I don't know the extent of her power. Like, she's going to have to be around for the Storm to be there. She can't kind of just chill and, sip a Mai Tai and then conduct a hellstorm up, hemisphere away. So I don't know. Spider-Man 2 was good. I don't think so. Watched it not long ago. I actually marathoned like all the. Or no, wait, Spider-Man 2. Oh, shit, I was thinking of Superman 2. My bad. Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is good. Some of the CGI, and look, for a movie that got an Oscar for special effects, Have a Zoomer watch Spider-Man 2, and they'll be like, "This was good effects." Like, wow. As you kinda look back on it, you can pick apart some things, like, I thought that Tobey Maguire was good in it, but he's not that good in the other Spider-Man stuff, even the first one, if we're truthful about it. Andrew Garfield walks all over it. Andrew Garfield has a better look for Peter Parker. He certainly has the better written lines and delivery for Spider-Man. He has a better physique for Spider-Man, more of a wiry thing happening. The new British child that's dating Zendaya, not happening. Nope. But yeah, Spider-Man 2 is good. I was thinking of Superman 2, which I'm not so keen on, really. Um, Only Guardians and the Galaxy 2. Yes, Guardians. You think Guardians 2 is the good 2 in the MCU? Because I didn't really care for it. Winter Soldier was amazing. A lot of people like that, but look, why is the bad guy's plot like this Homeland Secure like yeah, Homeland Security Patriot Act play? Like, first of all, it's old hat, even at the time, old news stuff. Why are we bringing it up? Like, that's a big critique. Oh, it's so important that we make this tie this into the times in that way. And you got like the kid in the wheelchair, like he poses such a threat. Like, we have to go after all these threats beforehand, to protect and shit. Like, then they had to force in Captain America 1 stuff. Like, hey, I'm the short German scientist guy, and I put myself in this computer so I could be here in this scene. Hell, right? Like, come on, guys. It's not good. Cliffhanger is good, correct. Not as good as Sudden Death Among Die Hard ripoffs. Was going to get Sudden Death on 4K for $20, and then they sold out on Amazon, so I'd have to do it on Barnes and Noble. But then I have to buy like 3 movies, so I don't have to pay for shipping. And honestly, I watched it a few years back, and it is one of Van Damme's better films, and I'm curious how it would look in 4K because it would be a scan of the original negatives. Like, it would be a justifiable 4K, right? Not like a more recent film might actually have the trouble of having a 2K digital intermediate, so you're actually getting a 2K instead of a 4K. Uh, but did it have that great of visuals? The interesting thing about it, though, is did you know? I think she might be the writer, or she's at least the producer. Is There's a woman that wrote it, or she's a writer and producer, or was her idea anyway. Her husband owns the Pittsburgh Penguins, and she thought, hey, we have this stadium that opens up. That could be a cool thing for like an action movie sequence with a helicopter. If not for that kind of a connection, you would not get a stunt happening like that. Period. Because no one would sign like CG. It'd all be CGI now, garbage, right? All this stuff, but it works as a good showcase for like the stuff she made a concept for a movie based on the stuff she had on hand. Now, having access to like an NHL team and stuff is pretty cool. So, I mean, yeah, there's things that work out well for it in that regard. I think Cliffhanger is superior though, but yeah, you got me there. They did go outside to shoot and it looked amazing. Okay, Cliffhanger better than Speed 2. Well, no shit. Trump is shaking up the world. I love it. Scare everyone like Dave the Earth. It is. Yep. 18 million votes just out of nowhere. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, you're not saying Kamala just had 18 come in, right? Because that would be scary. Um, you can't beat Empire. Kamala's for I've been in these streets. Oh, yes. She will go away. I know you hate TDK, but the line I don't hate it. It's a 3 out of 4 star movie. I don't just hand that shit out. But I'm just saying, like, the scenes without Heath Ledger Watch that movie without Heath Ledger in it, and then tell me if any of that's good. I mean, okay, I realize he's like the main villain and stuff, but there is a weird flow to the Christopher Nolan stuff. He's kind of got up his own butt with this like ramping up the tension with the music. Like the scenes where the Joker's busy doing his joke stuff, the music kind of starts out and it's more of an ambiance than music, and it just like escalates. Listen for that in the soundtrack, and that it artificially is generating the tension just based on the non-diegetic score, realistically. But okay, what'd you say here? I know you hate TDK, but the line Heath says, "You've changed things forever." There, I'm not doing a good Heath Ledger impression right now. My apologies. Yeah, there's no going back. Fits this political theater right now. Are we going to get like a Dark Knight Rises cut of the upcoming Trump inauguration? Like, I guess that could happen. I'm sure somebody has already got on it with the AI and the meme stuff. Yeah. To Eric Brown, I probably shouldn't read the questions that are an at to somebody else. At some point, we got to work out like the decorum here. Like, okay, I'll answer the questions, but hold on. I guess I'll read this here. But shit, I can't help it. All right, you say Don says to Eric Brown, yes, Winter Soldier was good. Didn't feel like I was watching a comic book film. Even back then. ABC had Darkwing. Okay. You worked with Jamie Chung? Not really. I haven't actually met her. We had some correspondence on Instagram and Twitter, but she had a film called Already Tomorrow in Hong Kong. That actually she had two films that played at my festival, but the director of Already Tomorrow in Hong Kong, which she did as a sort of like rom-com thing with her husband, and I guess she didn't want to have to do a lot of movies with him that were going to be like same old rom-com stuff. So they said, okay, we're only going to do one rom-com. And then when we showed it, I was like, okay, that's kind of cute. Everybody else was saying it was a ripoff of what is it? Something with the French girl and the Ethan Hawke. It's like before midnight or after dusk or before dusk or something like. I don't know. Everybody was saying that sort of thing, but yes, and he hammed it up. You're probably saying about the Flash, the guy hammed it up too much. Yes, watch the extended cut of Sucker Punch. Oscar Isaac and Carla are good singer perform. Is the Spy Kids mom in Sucker Punch Carla? I've only seen Sucker Punch once, and it was when it was, new in theaters. It's like we're getting pretty close to that 90-minute mark, guys, so I guess we're going to be winding this down. Nosferatu film might be best film of the year and isn't out yet. I feel like I've seen web banner ads or some mention of it, maybe on a football broadcast, but don't know too much about it. It's kind of like, haven't we done this before? Shit, we tried to do a Dracula movie like, last year? Fate of the Dawn Trader or Last Voyage of the Dementor or something. And it's supposed to be like, hey, let's just do a movie focused on the boat that brought Dracula to across the sea or some shit. Like, all right. And that bombed, right? Andrew Garfield is too cool for Peter Parker. Maybe, but see, my concept of Peter Parker is more like the Fox Kids Peter Parker, where he wasn't like crazy skinny built and like, look, that's 90s average right there. 90s average is like, look at the way he was on the Fox Kids cartoon from like 94, and he's just, what is he like, the best jock in the high school in something new now, and he's like the average kid, but he's got like the adult build, right? So that's kind of like what I think Peter Parker should look like looking like a man. It says Spider Kid over here. Shit. Garfield is the best Spider-Man of all time. I will agree. Tom Holland, I keep forgetting his name because I don't want to remember it. And Tom Holland Spider-Man just gets his gadgets handed to him by Daddy Stark. I know of that, but I haven't seen much of it firsthand because I have shrewdly avoided his flicks. But I will say, at what point is he like Spider-Man in name only? Because, oh, well, don't you see? His name's Spider-Man, so he needs to have Dr. Octopus arms and metal shit. And why ever take off the costume when he can just use Tony Stark's costume technology to make it any normal clothes or tie into this big amazing world we built, right? This cinematic universe. Jesus. All right, guys, we're at 90 minutes. I have to thank Dawn here for like a ton of uh gifts. I mean that goes to me, right? Like hold on here. When he gives the memberships, I get that money or something. Is that how that goes? But here I'm gonna hit the like thing. What does this do? You hit this stuff and it's like laughing faces happen. I don't know. Does that do something? Like I saw they're trying to incorporate the bits type concept over on the YouTube live streams, which is weird. I never really understood that to begin with. 10% for the big guy. Nice. Yeah. If does anybody have Friday the 13th on Xbox so that we can get these boat escapes? God. It's hard to find the people to do that. If I go over here to studio and look at earn, it's probably going to say, hey, you have a bunch of members now. It says total members 2, but I think that just hasn't updated yet. So that's pretty neat. We don't want too many members because it's got to be kind of an exclusive club still, right? Okay, a couple last things here regarding the fate of Joe Biden. Um, Look at the way Jill Biden dressed when she went to go vote. It wasn't, I put on my nice red coat. It was head to toe red. It was a message. It's like the Joker says, it's about sending a message. Yeah, I like that. Oh, hold on. I'm not doing a good Ledger voice. God, I could do that. Like everybody could kind of do that. Hold on. I gotta try to get my Ledger state here. All right. Michelle, I'm staying at your apartment and I might have too many pills. Go. Oh God, what is a good Heath Ledger line? Shit. Yeah, I should have practiced this. I'm sorry, but yeah. How did I get the shit? I sounded like goddamn Owen Wilson as the Joker right there. Wow, hey, let me tell you about my scars. Wow. Like, okay. Yeah, forget that. Jill Biden was sending a message. When Donald Trump says he hates her, he's not kidding. Like, I mean, he doesn't hate Jill, but the Harris, whatever her boy's name is, and the Bidens, they don't get along at all. I guarantee you, they're not cool with each other. There's infighting all over the place, and he it's not like Trump is making it up. He gets these things from some kind of source, maybe Secret Service, but he doesn't disclose. And then he just kind of says the part he knows out there. And then people assume he makes shit up, right? So she sent a message. Joe Biden didn't vote for her. Joe Biden probably could have pulled some strings to extend this. But my video on how this could have gone down with Joe Biden like throwing out the results, that kind of hinged more on Kamala having a clear victory on the popular vote to necessitate the will of the people, right? And then that she's democratically elected. Like, nope, can't do that now. Just gotta get her out of there. So I'm hoping that Joe Biden is healthy for the next couple months because we don't want to make history, right? And on that note, we've got the smoky smoke. I'm going to have me some popcorn and watch something, but I don't know what. I gotta turn this on first. You made it this far, wait until marriage. Counseling. Okay, that got a little excessive.